Well, basically, it depends on what you class as good news, because the government has just announced that the self-isolation rules for England is no longer in place, which means that you do not have to self-isolate for 5 full days, which was the previous legal requirement, where you basically had to do daily lateral flow test, and you had to have negative lateral flow test on day 5 and day 6. As you know, when COVID first started, we had to self-isolate for 14 days, then that changed to 10 days, then gradually it changed to 7 days, 5 days. So now the government is trying to get back some sense of normality. But what is there any real reason behind this? I mean, what is the government's real agenda? I mean, they argue that COVID rates are falling, which is true. There's been a fall in death rates. There's been a fall in hospital admission rates. They also tell you that there's been more than 70% of the population that has been vaccinated. And as a result of that, they feel that we try and getting people back to normal as we possibly can. But at the same time, they're also warning that there might be more serious variants in the future. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, you're telling us that we don't have to self-isolate, but you're also telling us that in the future, serious variants might arise. So what do? Do we continue to wear our masks? Do we continue to practice our distancing? How long can we carry on this for? And also, in terms of the free lateral flow tests, it has now been informed that from April the 1st, you will not get free lateral flow tests. You might have to pay for it. It might be means tested. I don't know how that's going to work. But in terms of self-isolation, that is not necessary. You don't have to keep doing fully free lateral flow test. Also, if you've been in contact with someone who's been positive, and if you're fully vaccinated, or if you're a child or an adult under the age of 18, you don't have to continue doing free lateral flow tests. Contact tracing is not going to contact you and ask you if you've done your test recently. Now, all we're waiting for is to know what is the guidance on travel. What is it in terms of COVID passes or COVID certificates or vaccinations? Because at the present time, there has been no news yet on that. There's been no update on travel, because at present, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to do any tests. But if you're not vaccinated, you have to do day 2 and day 8 test. And you also have to do a pre-arrival test on day 2. Yeah, that's a pre-arrival test, day 2. And then you have to do a day 8 test as well. But if you're fully vaccinated, you only have to do a day 2 lateral flow test, and that's pretty much it. So from Thursday, you do not have to self-isolate. Is that something to be happy about, or does that bring you any cause for concern? Let me know. Drop your thoughts in the comments.